Hello everyone, how's it going? So recently, Bungie released a set of trailers detailing the future for Marathon Season 2, and look, they really need a win right now. Destiny 2 is going to lose all support soon. They've stated that they're just ending it, and this is the only game they have left. So right now things do not look good, especially when you look at the Steam charts. I mean, you gotta look at this stuff. Like, people are saying like this is unfair. It is fair. Like, Sony invested a lot of money into this, and you're basically just clocking it at 10,000 players. Yes, today is Wednesday, but still, if you ever saw a live service game that went down to 3,000 players and you invested hundreds of millions of dollars into the game, bought a studio for billions of dollars, and their latest game went down to 3,000 players within about a month of its release, things are not looking good. Like, there are already rumors that layoffs are going to happen, which is expected right now that Destiny 2's development is winding down. Those people are going to be unnecessary. They're going to have to cut losses. Things are not looking good at Bungie, and right now, they really need a win right now. And look, I Platinum Marathon. I keep saying that because I want people to know that I've played a lot of this game. So I'm coming from a person who does like this game, but understands there are some really, really big issues with this title. So let's actually look at what they're going to bring to Season 2 to maybe, I don't know, have a Taken King level revival. Look, those types of things are a dime a dozen or a dime in a dozen. And this is, well, let's see if they learned their lesson. They did it once, maybe they could do it again. Make sure the volume's on. Oh, there we go. So we have a dead shell in the water. Okay. UEC. The UESC. I feel like if you're trying to remain hidden, you wouldn't want to have flashing patterns. Probably not the best shell to use in the CGI trailer. But, yeah, this is completely the opposite of what Marathon really is like. People don't stand around waiting. They literally rush places. Okay, what is that? I like the touch with the bags. So that's a new weapon, it's a submachine gun. Nightfall. Okay, I'll say that trailer was very cool, but it's not what the game is about. Like, they try to go for a horror experience, which is what Marathon is centered around. The idea of rogue AIs, alien invasions and infections, the mix between cybernetic and organic material. But, like, maybe Season 2 might go for this horror vibe, but at the same time, that's not how this game is going to be played. Like, this is a P versus P experience first. Yes, they said they're going to focus more on P versus E in order to get players into the experience who feel overwhelmed with the player versus player experience, but this trailer just seems very contradictory based on what Marathon is all about. Like, it's shown more like a single-player cooperative horror experience. which is not really what it's about. I really like this idea that the shell thing, like this shell, like this right here, where you see some sort of mutated shell in the background. I mean, that's a cool idea. I think that would be awesome. So, like, are they gonna make it that players who are down and out literally become like these mutated shells that are being puppeted by an anomaly? Is this Durandal like taking control of these AIs? Because right now the theory is this is a different timeline, and in this timeline, by killing the compiler, we've unexpectedly released Durandal, and maybe Durandal's taking control of these shells. And I mean, this is really cool. I like this, but this is a player versus player game. Like, the way I'm trying to convey this is that they're showing a lot of things that are involved in with the game's narrative, which is very secondary when it comes to the player experience. Like, the gameplay does not complement what the trailer is showing. This is showing a very story-centric experience where Marathon is not that. Even though a lot of the story elements are really interesting. I love the story elements, but the lore documents and getting all that stuff is so hard and rare. Not to mention that the gameplay is more of the player versus player experience, where everything that where I'm personally interested in, and I think a lot of other people based on the lore videos are interested in, are a much more secondary focus when it comes to the developers and what they're trying to implement. Granted, they've changed their tone because the game has not been successful for what they initially thought it was going to be successful for. So I don't know, like these trailers, this is a CGI trailer, so obviously this was commissioned months, probably even a year ago when it comes to this stuff, but it's cool, I will say that. But this is the developer insights, and we're going to talk about that next.
When a player starts a new season, I want them to feel like we've been able to kind of recapture the magic of like week 1 of Marathon launch. Everything is new, you don't know what's valuable yet. That feeling of discovery is going to be exciting and kind of push you to new stories and new journeys along your seasonal progression.
The core thing we think about is how is that journey going to be interesting and fresh, and how is it going to provide players different choices?
I think it's going to be a really exciting time for people to sort of like chart a new course and sort of like finding their own new path.
The narrative theme of Season 2 is escalation. The UESC is tired of getting pushed around by the runners, and they're fighting back. As their opposition escalates, so too does the anomaly. One of your jobs is to find out why.
From the first moment you infill on Night Marsh, you're gonna feel tension.
It is oppressive, unsettling. The creepiness factor gets ratcheted up.
I'm liking this. Okay, this is cool.
As night falls, the anomaly intensifies and digital psychosis hallucinations start to affect you. Confusing, fragmented vocals and messages that really start to play with what the player is hearing and making them question what's in their head versus in the real world.
Okay, but what's changed about the map? Is it just like physically?
Night Marsh, all players will have an equipped flashlight by default.
Night Marsh is this interesting...
Thank you. Dude, there have been so many instances, especially in Cryo Archive, where I could not see where the fuck I was because I didn't have a flashlight. Thank you. They listened, even though this should have been default from the start. Like, freaking Halo Combat Evolved on the original Xbox, Master Chief had a default flashlight. I don't know why this was so hard to put into the game. Like, you're supposed to operate this very advanced piece of technology, a shell. It doesn't have a built-in flashlight. It's like in Mass Effect, where these advanced spacesuits meant for combat and interstellar exploration didn't have a webcam on them. Like, I was just like, you can solve the entire Reaper invasion and tell everyone the truth if you just had, like, a built-in camera in your suit.
Counterplay of, do I go to the places where there is light and kind of comfort and safety? But doing so makes you a lot more visible to people who are hiding in the dark.
When you are in those shadows,
Flares.
you want to have equipment that allows you to see in the dark using your cybernetic eyes.
We really leaned into LiDAR as kind of our mechanic for runners to navigate in the dark.
Once you start accumulating these tools and...
Dude, I have to say, this lighting looks freaking sick. Oh my god, it looks so cool. Like, the presentation and graphical style of Marathon is so good. And it also makes me very sad because every time when I dive into Marathon, I always just think, dude, this would have been one of the greatest single-player experiences if they made it like that. Like, imagine if this was like I keep reiterating, imagine if this was like the Taken King, where you dive into these maps and there are segmented levels where you can go in with either solo or with a team. This would have been so cool, but again, we'll see how things turn out. Like, so far, this looks really, really cool. But I haven't seen any changes to the map itself. They made it darker, and there's the anomaly along with, like, the tower thing, but are there any physical differences to the map? Like, are certain buildings destroyed? Is there more trees and fauna around? Is there a new type of creature that's wandering around? Like, they say hallucination, so is that shell that we saw in the CGI trailer, is that even real, or is that just something that appears? Like, stuff like that, or is this, like, a new creature that's taking control of the shells? I would love to know that, so... we'll see.
Upgrading your loadout to be specifically tailored to fighting on Night Marsh, you're going to become far more powerful.
One thing we saw resonate with players from maps like Outpost was the way you could work your way through the map and earn access to treasure. That's the core principle of what we're looking to do on Night Marsh.
Players have kind of seen that there are maybe elevators or staircases up to something that has been closed off, and in Season 2, you're going to gain access to that space.
This is the observation deck and science lab where the UESC has been studying the anomaly. That's going to be one of the most heavily guarded areas of the map.
In there, it's going to be juicy loot.
Ultimately, the real test of mastery on Night Marsh is, can you get into Upper Complex and can you raid that UESC treasure room up there?
So it's just like the pinwheel base, repeat it, but like, what's the point? Like, is there a lore reason behind this? Like, so you just open in a brand new treasure room, which, okay, but what's the point? Like, so far I haven't heard anything about a boss fight or something that will replace the compiler, because right now that's the biggest issue right now. Everyone, well, at least I haven't, a lot of people have faced and seen the compiler. Are you guys going to address those concerns about, you know, future boss fights, or is there going to be a boss fight in this situation? Is there something very powerful up there, or are we just going to fight another UESC boss like the Wardens, the Toxic Commanders, and stuff like that? Like, is there anything new with that?
In Season 2, Sentinel is a new defensive shell.
They're optimized for controlling space. You have all these different tools that you're able to deploy into the world.
Fucking more claymores I gotta deal with. Like, I really hope they're going to address this, because claymores are some of the most BS things that you have to deal with in Marathon. They're common drops and they do so much damage. Like, literally what Works will do is they will just shoot someone and then run back and then just place a bunch of claymores. So I've done it. It's very easy to do, and it's very freaking annoying. So now they created a class that just does it for you. Oh, that's gonna be great and fun.
World. Just fortify an area.
Oh wait, that's a turret. Okay, it's not a claymore, okay.
You're able to put down this defender system that shoots down grenades out of the air. Whenever you...
Dude, that's gonna be a game changer, to be honest. Like, people will spam grenades, especially in the Cryo Archive. Okay, that's really good. So this class is going to be mandatory. You're going to have to run this. So I will be surprised if people are just running Sentinels and Recons now.
Take explosive damage. That's going to be a big buff to a bunch of your resistances. And additionally, when you're surrounded by enemies, your small arms are going to have increased reload speed and ready speed.
Yeah, this class...
Players are getting really good at gap closing and getting right in your face. But now with Sentinel, you throw down a snare mine, and whenever anybody gets close to it...
Yep, Claymore.
...in their tracks.
You have an ability to be able to track. They literally will slide up from their sleeve and get a heads-up display.
Snare set.
Whenever anything is moving around, they're going to show up as a little blip. And that allows you to know where your threats are coming from, deploy all your tools, and give the information you need to effectively defend your area.
Dude, this class is OP as hell. It's basically Recon and Claymores combined.
The seasonal reset allows us to change the journey of the things that you're going to care about.
Just because you experienced it in Season 1 doesn't mean it's going to play out the same way in Season 2. We are taking a holistic look at every mod in the game, every mag, every optic, every chip, and seeing where they sit, what people like about them, which ones people don't like.
We're flipping implants on their head. Now an implant is going to be perk first, stats second. You look at the name of the implant, and that's what the perk is. That's what it does.
Thank you. Oh my god. I can't believe this wasn't like they finally addressed this, because that was a major issue. You would have to read and look at the perk and see if it was compatible. Unless you memorized all of it, this is a huge, great change. Thank you.
We're also going in and changing the rarity and the drop rate of some of these things. So a weapon you maybe got real used to seeing in Season 1, you might find a little less often in Season 2, and you're going to have to form a relationship with a new old reliable.
So, shotguns.
There are going to be 2 new weapons being added to the sandbox. First one is the KKV. It's a small arms SMG with an integrated suppressor, and it is excellent at just mowing down anything immediately right in front of you.
Holy crap, that is
Shotgun
powerful.
rushers, watch out.
So their answer to combating the shotgun is this new weapon that, as they show, can rinse through opponents pretty easily. But at the same time, now you created a new issue. Now the shotgun's not the meta. This thing is the meta. So unless this thing has like a specialized ammo or it's extremely rare, like, you just opened a new can of worms at this point. Like, the shotgun has always been a contested topic, and the reason being, like, first, it was, like, 2 shots. It doesn't matter what rarity the shotgun was. It could be gray, it could be purple. It 2-shotted anyone. Then they nerfed it to make it that it needed 3 shots to kill someone, so you had to reload before you could kill someone. The problem is, it became so worthless at that point because you had to reload that people stopped using it. Then they went back on it. So I guess they're keeping it the way it is, where it's 2-shot, but they're using this weapon to combat it, so someone could have this instead of the shotgun, and it would beat that. But at this point, this submachine gun is now better than the shotgun, so why would you use the shotgun when this is better? You see what I mean, right? Now they just changed it with a new problem. Like, I don't envy these developers to try and balance this, but you've just, like, if this works like the way they just showed it, where... Watch this.
Shotgun rushers, watch out.
See how fast that was? Like, you just kind of create a new problem. Granted, it is, like, we don't know how much ammo he needed to punch into the shell in order to take it down. But at the same time, seeing that the person shot once and was able to be taken down quite easily, I don't know, it's a bit concerning with that. Damn, this thing is powerful!
The second gun is the D54 battle pistol. It comes with an integrated red dot optic. We really see this as an excellent 1v1 strafe dueling weapon. You know, things are going crazy. Put that sniper back on your back and just pop out the D54 battle pistol and you are just ready to go.
What is that player doing? Like, dude, he was just waiting, like... I know they try to make the things seem more effective than they actually are, but what is this?
Ready to go.
Guys, at least make it look realistic. Like, what was that? He was just standing there waiting to die.
In Season 2, everyone gets this fresh start, and they have a chance to go back through that journey from 0 to hero.
It allows us...
0 to hero. No. This is gonna piss off a lot of people. Like, you're gonna lose all your gear. I get the incentive for that is for you to use your gear, so use it before you lose it, but it's just gonna be so freaking annoying to lose everything you've earned at the Cryo Archive. It's just gonna be like, ah, great! Now I have to get all this stuff again.
as designers to look at what we did and say, hey, how could we do this better?
We've taken a look at a lot of our contracts, like in a single run, heavy traversal. I know everyone loves going from bio to field maintenance. How do we still keep the magic, but just remove some of those frustrations where it feels like you're throwing yourself against the wall?
I really hope he was being sarcastic there. I can't tell, but that was one of the most BS contracts imaginable. Like, for the moth thing, I can't remember its name. You had to go from the bio area in Dire Marsh back to the research facility, and you had to keep going back and forth. There was one stupid-ass contract which required you to traverse the entire map. And I'm not joking. The entire map to go through these types of traversal loops, like these. It's like Batman Arkham Knight, where you have to go through those AR training with the grapple hook. It's the same thing, and I'm just like thinking to myself, like, who the fuck thought this was a good idea? You will be snipered the second you try this, unless you wait for the last 5 minutes and hope to God everyone just evacuated. But thank God they're addressing it, and I really hope that they made it that you don't have to do all of this in one run, because, dude, it was so annoying. Like, I was able to do it, but the reason I was able to do it is because, and I'm not proud of this, I used my other team. I used them as distractions. I would, like, Marathon is a game where if you go in with randoms, a lot of players don't have a plan. So they will literally follow a player who literally pings. So I would ping a location, which would usually be where I needed to complete my contract, and they would just follow me because they didn't really have a plan, and my plan was to finish the contract, and I would use them as a meat shield. I'm not proud of it, but I needed to get it done. So they're learning their lesson.
We're looking at things like material costs and how you're earning faction reputation, how you're earning it as a solo, how you're earning it as a crew. One of our big goals is that most Marathon players can actually max out their faction upgrades and get to VIP ranks.
You're our ticket, our dead of night infiltrator.
What we're really ultimately looking to do is make it so we're alleviating all of those challenges that might be blocking you from continuing to grow inside of the game.
In Season 1, everything was tied to faction upgrades. If you want extra melee damage, you were having to rank up Arachne. With the Cradle, you get a single screen with all the runner shell stats, and you're able to pick how you're distributing points. Cradle XP comes from smashing down gear that you don't care about. You can batch, select a whole bunch of stuff, turn it into Cradle XP, and now you've got more stats for your runners.
If you want to be the
That is a really good idea, because that was such BS that you need to level up certain certain factions in order to get upgrades that were mandatory for the Cryo Archive, like increased melee damage, reviving, stuff like that. But at the same time, wouldn't people just abuse this? Like, they had to refine the entire commerce system, because you could just buy stuff and, I guess, break them down in order to gain faction points, especially if you had an over supply of credits. So maybe they took that in consideration. We'll see. But I think this is a good idea. But they haven't addressed the lore thing, because are they just going to recycle the same cutscenes from Season 1? Like, are there going to be new cutscenes? Because if they have new cutscenes, that means people can't access the older cutscenes, so how is that going to go into consideration?
fastest runner on Tau Ceti, you can just go all in on agility right from the start.
And we're not gonna penalize you for wanting to reset. You wanna pull all your stats out of one and put it into something else, you can.
Okay.
The system is going to give players, I think, a lot more freedom to pick and choose how and what they want to upgrade than the faction upgrade system offered previously.
As we're continuing to build seasons in the future, not just season 2, but season 3 and season 4, we're going to keep hammering at how do we make it so everyone really appreciates that survival journey better.
What can we improve? How can we shift this experience to just be cool or just be more fun?
I want to be able to have our game be this launching point into a whole bunch of different experiences and stories that players can have.
That's sort of where it's leading to, is sort of how do we discover new frontiers for that gameplay.
Okay, so, I mean, those are pretty cool updates. I do like, they didn't really discuss the new enemies that we're going to deal with, which is a big red flag, considering that P versus E is a big thing that's coming up to the next season, and they didn't really discuss that, which very scary. Second, they didn't discuss like a brand new raid boss or something, because right now the compiler is old news. What are they going to do with that? It just, like, I like the changes to Dire Marsh when it comes to that, but they seem very minuscule in comparison to, like, say, something like Crimson Desert. Like, I haven't played the game, but I've been keeping track about those updates. They've added substantial updates to that game. Granted, that's a single-player experience, but this is a multiplayer experience. But I haven't seen anything radically different with this new version of Dire Marsh. Like, it's nighttime, looks cool, but then you open new areas. But what exactly is this different from the pinwheel base where we just go up, kill everyone, take the valuable loot, and leave? Like, what exactly are you guys adding that's so substantial that it's considered Season 2? I haven't seen much into new weapons, stuff like that. Like, when your player base is right now dipping to 4 digits, you need to bring in all, like, everyone has to be on board. And right now, from what I've seen of this update, one, it's just catering to the very small player base right now that is keeping this game somewhat on life support, because right now, if this was any other studio, I feel like Sony would have shut them down and closed the game right now. So this update, as far as I can tell, it appeals to people like me who enjoyed the marathon experience, but it doesn't appeal to anyone who's on the edge or made their decision or even encourage them to come back. It has nothing, literally nothing, that will encourage new players to come back. When it comes to the lore, they barely mentioned that. They mentioned the anomaly and stuff like that, but they didn't mention the long-term impact. What about the Randall? What about the compiler? What about, you know, everything that happened in the previous season? How does that change things moving forward? Like, they said that the UESC is very annoyed with the fact that the runners have been basically treating them like garbage, but that's a fair assessment. They had the compiler who literally made just the UESC look like chumps. Orion completely fucked it up, and they had to retreat. It was up to the runners to take that thing down. The Blood Angel had to die at their hands. And considering that the private corporations who funded the marathon are looking to the runners for more engagement than the UESC, says volumes. Like, if I was them, I'd say, look, you guys fucked up. You completely dropped the ball on this. The Blood Angel almost killed everything, and it did kill everything. Everyone in the marathon is dead, at least according to the lore. But this is a different timeline according to all the evidence. Regardless, like, wouldn't it be like the UESC should pull out, and then private corporations should invest more into the runners? Like, you see what I mean? Like, when you look past at the lore of what's transpired, it doesn't make sense that this is still happening. Not to mention, you guys aren't really conveying how this exactly pushes the narrative forward or the experience forward. It's just like, it feels like you guys just did a patch note here. I don't know, like, it's nothing really substantial to say that this is a huge new season. This just feels like an update that should be just casually implemented. Hopefully I'm wrong, and when I dive in, I will play Season 2 and see how things go, but at this point, I don't really have hope for this, because they really haven't addressed the major issues with this. It just feels like they're moving forward with what they originally had planned for Marathon, while also trying to diverge their path in hopes of attracting new players by offering experiences that were never intended for the original experience. So they're trying to have their cake and eat it too in a lot of ways. They're trying to cater to the P versus P experience for the people who still are playing this game right now, but at the same time trying to convince players to come back and play the game or buy the game and experience it for themselves. But this update doesn't really give me a lot of confidence. Even though I was very positive with a lot of the updates they were given, it doesn't look like it's something that will attract or create a sense of interest to convince players who already made up their mind or stuff like that. Let's look what the comments say about people. Hope you guys can pull forward. I do want to see this game succeed. I'm intrigued. Atmosphere looks unreal. It does. Like, that's the thing. Like, Marathon looks incredible when it comes to, like, the atmospheric tones, the lore, all of that. Like, cybernetic AIs that go rogue, alien species, the difference between the bridge between organic and inorganic, and how it's starting to meld together. All of that just sounds super cool. It's just that the game is just a extraction shooter experience. Like, when you actually play the game and what they're presenting, like with the CGI trailer, it's complete. Like, if you were to watch the CGI trailer and compare it to what's seen here, they're telling two contradictory stories. One is about a very dark sci-fi horror experience. You can tell by just, like, looking 5 minutes at this type of trailer and stuff like that, like that shell coming out with 3 arms mutating all around. And then when you watch this developer's update, it's just like, oh, this is just like a live service P versus P extraction shooter. Like, it just does. It's like trying to put the square hole into the circle and you're just smashing it in. But let's see what other people say. Just here for the comments. Rest in peace, Bungie. Can't wait for the Witcher 3 DLC. Actually, that looks pretty sick. Let's go. Hype for Season 2. Develops are cooking. I don't know. A lot of UESC bots in the comment. Single run, maintenance. Yeah, so it's a lot of mixed bag. I liked it, so it's yeah, that's not a good thing. So not looking good right now when it comes to this trailer. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Right now, I would say, yeah, it does not look good. It doesn't look like they're going to appeal to people who've already made up their mind. They're trying to appeal to both people who have just exited the experience while also catering to the people who are still keeping it alive. I really think it's a mess right now. They don't know what to do, and right now Bungie's on borrowed time. Sony's probably not happy about the numbers. Destiny 2 is closing, which is what they bought the studio for. And Destiny 3 likely is not happening, considering that even greenlit such a project like that would cost hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe $500 million. Like, making a game like that is not cheap, especially if you need to keep people on payroll to build essentially that game from scratch, because according to everyone who has insiders at Bungie stated that the game's not even in development. It's been pitched, but it's never been greenlit, and considering that Sony has shut down so many live service games and canceled them outright before they were even shown to the public, shows they have no confidence in the live service market right now. It's collapsing as we see forward. I know I'm kind of being a doom and gloomer, but these are the facts that we're looking at. Like, Jason Schreier has said this, Paul Tassi has said this. These are people who have insider knowledge to these studios, and they're all saying the same thing. Destiny 3 is not in development. Destiny 2 right now, Bungie's in chaotic mode, like the SpongeBob meme where everyone's on fire. The developers didn't even know that Destiny 2 was being sunsetted. That's very scary. Like, your bosses were lying to you this entire time to keep the morale high despite the numbers not being there. But tell me what you think in the comments below. As someone who does play Marathon, I don't have hope for this franchise or this IP. I really think that their best course of action is to try and take these assets and try and make some sort of single player cooperative experience to try and draw in players to this universe, and maybe separate those two teams, Destiny's team to create the single player expansion and release it as a free update to try and generate positive will, and have the people who are making the extraction shooter continue with that, while also developing other P versus P experiences. Maybe add a team deathmatch, a capture the flag dominant. I'm just trying to spitball ideas here, because at this point they're at the back of the wall, and you might as well just flail your arms and kick and do whatever you can to see what works right now. Throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. But that's what I'm looking at here. So tell me what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear other people's opinions, but that's it for me. Goodbye and have a good day.